What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to another video, man. Got a lot of momentum from the last one. 2 videos ago, actually. If you go to the video section of my channel, sort it by the newest, I think it's 2 videos ago now. It's the red thumbnail with Michael Skimbo on it, man. A lot of momentum. I gave you all like 200 like goal on that video. I think it's over 600 right now. So I appreciate you guys so much for that, and I am going to deliver. And I also have a nice surprise for you on top of the 25 to 30 play ebook. I'm going to give you an extra little surprise that's really going to help your game. So stick around to the end of the video. I really appreciate you guys. I really appreciate your patience. We're going to dive into it. It's going to have to be multiple videos, but that surprise is going to tie it all together for you and make it really easy to have the full ebook at your fingertips. So stay tuned for that. My Christmas wish didn't come true. The Browns missed the playoffs. I did get some nice Baker Mayfield headbands for Christmas. I don't know which one's better because these things are pretty sweet. I hope you all had a good holiday. Hope you had a good Christmas, man. We're back grinding 24/7 on the Madden. We're going to dive into it, man. Don't want to waste your time. No fancy editing on this video. Just one more quick side note before I dive into the setups, man, because I just noticed it as I'm going through the editing here. I know I put one in the beginning of the video. It was a field goal block return, and I got a pick 6 from it. And then later, so what I did in an online head-to-head, I was just letting them score. That way I could get back on offense real quick to get as much footage as possible, as quick as possible. Then later in the video, I just showed you I got a sack actually from a punt man safe. So I'm gonna have to lab that more, but if you're in desperate situations, maybe mix that in. I don't know. I had some decent success with it. So anyways, let's dive into the video, man. Today's video is going to be on the near and far formations. Very overpowered formations as far as running the ball goes. A lot of pros use these formations. We're going to start off in the near wide left slot. First play is going to be the post drag. A lot of different things you can do with this formation. In a second here, I'll sub out Sherman. You do want 2 running backs here because part of the scheme is using this 0-1 trap. Very good run. Let's give you the setup for this play first. It's going to be streaking square, blocking that triangle running back, and then a few different things you can do here. R1's route, definitely want to have a receiving back, your best receiving back there. McCoy works great. It reminds me of the mesh post wheel route. So it's not a normal wheel route. Normal wheel route would look like that, where it goes all the way out. This is very similar to the mesh post wheel route, where it goes more vertical, more quickly, and it's very efficient. Works great out of this formation, fellas, especially with all this blocking, especially with a tight end right there. And then you have the all overpowered post route, and that's one of the 5 routes I covered in the last video, 5 routes to make you better now. So a few things you can do here, but the best setup I find is just putting square on a hitch or put him on a out route. But the hitch really, and he got tied up there. Humphrey's a beast. You saw Hill get budged there, but that doesn't happen all the time. But all you got to do here, streak square, block triangle, hitch route X, and just make your reads accordingly. Your progressions here, I'm going to give you progressions in this ebook. They're going to be square, X, circle, R1. So just get through them. Square, open there, hit them, possession, catch that. A little bit risky there. Probably could have waited on your second progression, but he did look open, so I took a shot. But real easy setup: block triangle, streak square, and do what you want with X. I'll give you another setup that's really good. My favorite being X on just a simple hitch route. What happens is that slot corner gets sucked down a lot of times, and you can low pass this all day to the circle receiver. And I'm not going to sit here and show you the same play, same setup over and over again. Just know that if I take the time to put it on YouTube, fellas, if I take the time to post it, it's something that's working for me in game. Surprise, I'll give you halfway through the video if you made it this far. After I post all these videos, and I will be posting one every single day, so look for part 2 tomorrow. The little surprise I'm going to hook you all up with is the full written ebook as well. Once I post the last video, I'm going to do the full write-up and put it in the description. It'll be a Google Doc link in the description of the last video, so look out for that. That's exactly what you get if you sign up on Patreon. Full play, full write-up, yours to keep, yours to print out, or have it on your phone while you play. It is pretty convenient. I get a lot of positive feedback from that from my Patreon members, but that's something you'll get after the last video I post. Gonna hurt my view, gonna hurt my watch time, but I really appreciate the momentum of this channel, and I want to hook you all up. Christmas, Merry Christmas, fellas. But let's dive into the second setup. Another thing you can do, another thing I showed briefly earlier, is blocking triangle, streaking X, and then either putting Hill or Hardman or one of your fastest guys at the slot receiver. So we moved him over. It's actually pretty nice to have a possession guy on that outside post, since most of the time you're going to be hitting it as soon as he cuts in. Haven't found a real good setup to beat everything over the top, so I'd rather just hit him when he gets open. But what happens here is if you slant a fast receiver out of this slot position in this formation, it's a really overpowered route. The only problem is sometimes he stops running. There he didn't. It is an absolute killer route out of this formation for whatever reason. Sometimes he'll stop short. We've all seen it if you play enough. Certain formations, certain slant routes, certain routes in general, he will stop. He won't continue running out, but then in that case, you have an opportunity to playmaker him as well. So it's kind of a win-win. He keeps running there, and you can hit him over the top all day. So that'll be the second setup, just slanting X. Third setup, out of this formation, let's get out of the 3 deep. Same play, same formation. Third setup I'm going to give you. Still streaking square. I love, high overall. Speed helps as well. Catching traffic, probably the most important. But out of this formation, out of that position, that's a really good streak route. Another thing you can do here is out route X, and you can even get even more crafty with it and out route them and smart route them. What happens here, there's not really a zone that's going to cover all of these routes because of that mesh post coming out of the backfield. Saw there, the zone gets sucked into the post, and you have a wide open 10-yard out route to Tyreek Hill. And if that is covered, you see how he sucks into the running back, and you get a wide open out route there. If he is covered, 9 times out of 10, you either have the post route on the low pass, or you will have R1 sneaking out of the backfield for a big gainer. So that'll be the third setup right here. Looks like I'll have R1. I could have waited a little bit longer to get more separation, but it worked out. So that's the third setup. And the last setup out of this play, fellas, is we're going to still streak R1. We're still going to streak triangle, and we're just going to put X on a whip round. And this setup right here, especially if you have a guy like Hill, it's just really good for beating like the all-out man blitzes, just because you have a quick hitter to square, and then 2 man beaters between the whip and the running back on that great mesh post wheel route. So everything's the same here, except for you're going to zig route X. And don't be afraid to run this play with just streaking square, blocking triangle, and leaving X on his dig route. That dig route's pretty good as well. He's going to have to choose to use either square or X, and a lot of times that'll leave the post open, and it's really hard for him to use both square and X. That's it for this play. The next play out of this formation is going to be the 0-1 trap, fellas. Absolutely filthy run right here. For whatever reason, you get some really good trap blocking. I tripped up on my own blocker there, but almost took it to the house on the first play. He's going to have to be in a pretty solid stacked box run defense to stop this run, but he's gonna have to be in something like this to stop the first play with all your different combos, especially when he's worried about that wheel route and the post route. So once you get him in a pass defense, you hit him with this 0-1 trap, and it's nasty. And this is all Madden practice mode, so he's getting pretty good sheds, but I could show you some clips in game of this run going for some big yards, but worst case, it's usually good for at least 2 to 3 yards. Worst case, you get something like that, and I got 9 yards right up the middle. So really good run to mix in. And now we're going to dive into the Texas play. Now what this does, it gives you a post route to X instead of circle, which is really nice. Squares route beats a lot of zones if you have time. You're still going to block triangle, and then you have R1 on the great little angle route, and you don't really have to change anything here. That X route, or the square route, really, and I messed up the user there. I should have just let him keep running. So you can run this play stock, and it is pretty good, but I'm going to have a few setups for this as well. I'll just show it one more time here. Do want to kind of stress how this square route gets behind a lot of zones, and if not, you'll have X. If I would have just led past that straight X, especially with Hill's speed, he should have beat that guy over the top. But your progressions here are really going to be R1, square, X, and then maybe circle on the big hitter. But you see how X can get open for 1-play touchdown because of the way square sucks the zone down on the left. And that route to square, if he's in anything but really like a purple zone cover 3, you are going to have Kelsey late on a zone beater just like that. So that's the first setup, just running it stock, and that's going to set up your next setup. Next setup for this Texas play is going to be no hot routes. All we're going to do is motion circle to the left, and this motion is going to tie in with the scheme as well. It's nice because Watkins is on a fade, and a lot of times he'll flip to the other side. This play in formation, he does not. He stays on like a nice fade towards the inside, and I should have stepped up in there and drilled it to R1, but I was trying to show you the deep route. But with that fade from Watkins kind of coming into the inside, that allows almost 100% of the time square or X to get open, and you always have to check down to R1. But right there you see how X, and I load past that just to keep it away from the safety, but because square was on that fade to the inside, X just got wide open underneath. So first setup stock, second setup is just motioning circle to the left, no hot routes. And then another thing I love to do is actually slant circle and motion him left. And it's the same motion. He's going to be looking for square and the post route, and now you kind of play the circle and the R1 route off of each other, and that was a terrible pass. Should have hit R1 probably. But this is something I've used in my schemes before. I love playing either a drag or a slant from the opposite side of the angle route and kind of play those off of each other. And if he gets too concerned with those underneath, you're going to beat him for a big gainer to hill over the top. Alright boys, and then the last play I'm going to give you tonight, I gave you, what, 3 to 4 plays out of the post drag, the 0-1 trap, that's 5, 3 setups out of Texas, that's 8, and then I'm going to give you 2 setups out of this PA read special. So that's 10 plays for tonight. I think tomorrow's video, what I'm going to do is I'm not going to give you any gameplay. I'm going to just go straight through the setup, so I'll try to get like 20 plays in a 10-minute video. To give you the full 30 plays, and then what I'll do is after I release the full ebook, then I can maybe post some gameplay. I think that'll be a lot quicker, it'll get it to you faster, and I can just do like a full gameplay video of the West Coast with all these schemes working. But let's finish strong, boys. Square, we're gonna do that delay fade that Skimbo likes so much. Definitely gonna block triangle. Remember, this is the PA read special play. I like to block play action player twice. If you notice, if you block him once out of a play action, he gives you that little left blocking animation. If you block him again, it goes straight back. I just feel like it gives you a better blocking animation. We're going to put square on the delay fade that's up on the right stick, and then you're just going to make your reads accordingly. Just basic flood play here. Everything's going right. All the other plays were going left. Only sending 3, so it's a max protect concept, and then you can release square late when he least expects it. Progressions here are R1, X, and then that's why I like to put my fastest receiver out there on the outside, because a lot of times you can beat him on a simple streak route, especially if he's pressing you. So, and if you know you're passing and you're going to be using triangle and a block, I would put the fullback back there, especially a guy like Sherman, just to give you really great blocking, especially in the max protect version, just like this play right here. Put R1, X, and R1's route's really unique. You get a really good catch animation a lot of times with that route. You don't see this route a lot out of the backfield. It's kind of like a double move table route, so I really like that route. R1, X, circle. I should have hit X right out of the break. Hit X if you got him like right there. It's pretty obvious X is going to get open. Try to hit him right out of the break. And then the last setup I'm going to give you out of this play, the PA read special, is we're going to do the same kind of thing with the same motion with the delay fade now. So we're going to still block triangle. We're going to slant Hardman now, especially a guy with some speed like that. Motion him all the way to the left. I like to get him a little further outside here so he doesn't run into Hill's route. With the slant coming from the left side of the field, it really opens up that release to Kelsey, especially with the user. I mean, 9 times out of 10, if you send a slant across the user's face like that, especially after a motion, especially a guy like Hardman, the user's going to take a linebacker and user that route. And if you don't have R1, X, or circle open, which a lot of times you do with the flood concept, you can release square right up the middle. As he gets to the right side of the field with the user, you just real slyly release square here and get a big gainer up the middle. So I appreciate you watching, fellas. Sorry it took longer than expected. I hope you enjoy it. It should improve your Madden game. It's a real good scheme. You can stay in this formation all game, but also look forward to tomorrow's video where we're really going to open up this playbook.